Imagine sending money across the globe in seconds for mere cents without a bank in the middle. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Well, today we're diving into a crypto with that promise. Welcome to our channel, and today we're talking about XRP, what it is, how it works, and whether it might be worth understanding if you're new to crypto. Whether you've heard the term XRP floating around or you're completely new to crypto, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture: what XRP is, why it exists, how it works, and some key things to watch out for. Let's jump right in. So first, what is XRP? At its core, XRP is the native token of the XRP Ledger, often abbreviated XRPL, a distributed ledger designed for moving value. The ledger was developed by the company Ripple, also referred to as Ripple Labs, with a vision of offering banking and payment solutions to traditional financial institutions. A quick history. The idea traces back to 2004 with a project called Ripple Pay started by Ryan Fugger. Then, in 2012, Jed McCaleb, Arthur Brito, and David Schwartz joined forces, with Chris Larson as well, and shifted it into a digital currency network for value transfers. So, when you hear Ripple and XRP, keep in mind the company is Ripple, the ledger is XRPL, and the token is XRP.
All right, so how does the tech behind XRP work in simple terms? The XRP Ledger uses its own consensus algorithm, called the XRP Ledger Consensus Protocol, instead of the better-known proof of work, like Bitcoin, or proof of stake, like some other cryptos. The ledger is powered by nodes, computers and servers, that each hold a copy of the chain, and a subset of them function as validators who check transactions and help reach agreement across the network. The transaction process goes like this. A user submits a transaction, it gets proposed to validators. Validators check if it's valid. For example, does the sender have enough XRP? They reach consensus on a batch of transactions. Those transactions are finalized and added to the ledger. Because of this design, XRPL aims for lower fees, faster finality, settlement of transactions, and more energy-efficient operation compared to legacy systems or some other cryptocurrencies. Let's talk about the why. Why does XRP exist? What gap is it trying to fill? Traditional financial systems, especially when you're dealing with cross-border payments, can be slow, expensive, and rely heavily on intermediaries, banks, correspondent relationships that may have various fees or delays. XRPL, and XRP by extension, aim to provide a public, decentralized alternative where you can move funds globally with low cost and speed. Thousands of transactions per second, fractions of a cent per transaction. Another key feature, On-Demand Liquidity, offered by Ripple's ecosystem, allows for cross-border payments to occur without the sender needing to pre-fund accounts in destination countries. This can reduce the cost and friction of moving money globally. In short, the goal is faster, cheaper, and more efficient payments, especially internationally. Okay, so what can you actually do with XRP? Here are some of its main utilities. It serves as the native token on XRPL, meaning that when transactions occur on the ledger, XRP is used for paying transaction fees, and a small amount is burned as a kind of anti-spam mechanism. It can act as a bridge currency in cross-border payments. You might convert from one fiat currency into XRP, send it across, then convert into another fiat currency, helping bypass traditional rails. You can hold XRP and potentially use it in applications, dApps, built on XRPL, for rewards or in-app transactions. And it's peer-to-peer. You could send XRP to someone else without needing a bank account, though in practice, jurisdictions and on and off ramps matter. Now, just because XRP can be used this way doesn't mean every user or merchant is using it for exactly that yet. Now let's look at the money side of it. How many are there? And how were they issued? The total maximum supply of XRP was set at 100 billion tokens, and that entire amount was actually created or pre-minted in January 2013.
Distribution: 20 billion went to the founding team, 80 billion to Ripple Labs Inc. A major point: to address concerns about market manipulation, large dumps, Ripple locked 55 billion XRP in escrow and has a mechanism of releasing 1 billion XRP per month from that escrow, with unused amounts returned. This means that although Ripple has large holdings, there are structures in place to manage releases and attempt to provide transparency. Let's pull together the key strengths and also some things for beginners to keep in mind. Pros: lower fees plus high speed. XRPL is built for payments, so transaction costs are tiny and settlement is fast. Bridge and cross-border capability. Potential real-world use cases beyond just speculation. Sustainability. Because the consensus mechanism is less energy-intensive than proof of work, it ticks the eco box more than some other cryptos. Things to consider. Even though the technology is ready, real-world adoption, especially in global banking systems, takes time, regulatory clarity, and infrastructure. As with all cryptos, volatile markets. Just because something is built for a purpose doesn't guarantee it will succeed commercially or that the price will reflect utility. Because a large portion was held by the founding company and was pre-minted, some investors raise governance or centralization questions. Regulatory legal environment. Crypto regulations are still evolving globally, which adds an extra layer of uncertainty. If you're a beginner thinking, should I look into XRP? Here's a simple framework. If you believe in the idea of faster, cheaper global payments and think a ledger optimized for that will win out, then it's a project worth understanding. If you're purely in crypto for trading or speculation, then XRP is one of many options. But make sure you understand its unique value proposition rather than just, it's cheaper than X. If you're someone who wants a long-term holding and believe the ecosystem around XRPL, dApps, cross-border rails, will grow, then you might view XRP differently than a short-term trader would. So, to wrap up, XRP is a cryptocurrency built for one of the classic pain points of finance: moving money globally. The XRPL ledger offers high performance, low cost, and a different consensus model. The tokenomics are clear: 100 billion max supply, pre-minted with escrow for release management. The company behind it, Ripple, is targeting real-world banking payment use cases, which gives it a slightly different flavor than many other crypto projects focused purely on decentralized apps or token experimentation. Final thought. If you're new to crypto, don't approach XRP or any crypto as a guaranteed win. Use it as a learning tool. Ask, what does this token solve, and does it stand a chance in the real world? Then match that with your risk tolerance, investment time horizon, and how much you're comfortable with volatility. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more beginner-friendly crypto and finance content, and leave a comment below. What other crypto tokens would you like us to break down in simple terms? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay learning.